Alright, so I just got dropped off here in Sambal Creek from Toccoa, Honduras. I've been reading this book called The School of Christ by T. Austin Sparks. Had it sitting for a long time. I don't know where I got it from, my grandma or my dad or something. But it looks like 1964. Introduction by David Wilkerson, giving this man in this book credit for a lot in his life, and that's somebody that when I was growing up in New York, my grandfather, who was a pastor, my dad and all them looked up to him a lot. We used to go out to New York City to his church, and he was a pretty famous guy. So I've had it, but I just guess I wasn't ready to read it. So I've been reading the last couple of days, and there's some pretty deep stuff in here. It's a little wordy. What it is, instead of being written as a book, it's transcriptions of lectures of speaking, which is what I'm starting to think about doing myself, because I've been wanting to write. I started writing different books and stuff at different times, and then I get sidetracked and set it down, but I can talk and then I can transcribe that. So I'm not going to get into what the book is about yet. I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of these ideas. But what I'd rather do, this is how my mind thinks a lot, I'm looking at the table of contents right here, just the names of the chapters and stuff, and what I'd rather do is let them trigger off thoughts in my mind, spontaneous ideas, and share that, because that's showing you what the kingdom is like. Okay, so we're going into this saying I have nothing planned. I don't even know what I want to talk to you about. Whatever Christ wants to say through me is what I want you to have, whatever he wants you to hear. It's not about me, about Dan at all. So we'll see what the foundation of spiritual education, learning the truth. I am the truth. So the thing that made me think about right before I hit record was the foundation of spiritual education. Okay, for anybody to want to even pursue having a spiritual life, even before they know what that means. Oh, spiritual, he's spiritual, or I want to learn more about spirituality. What is spirituality? What is spirit? You know what I mean? So from the time you ask that question, you're going to be taking information or ideas from somewhere, from someone, from something, from some time period or some place. You're going to start building now what spirituality is to you. Okay, so basically when this says learning the truth, the foundation of spiritual education, what you're going to be building upon. That's why Jesus Christ, he's called the chief cornerstone, the stone that the builders threw away, but that everything gets built upon. So for us, if you want to call me a Christian, if you want to call us Christians or whatever, but for us who know that Jesus was the Christ and that we follow him, we're his disciples, we want to come under discipline of Jesus. I'm not a perfect guy in any means, but that is my desire, to follow Jesus, because Jesus, when he said, I am the truth, the life, and the way, and no man comes to the Father but by me, he's talking about his teaching, his way of life, him, that he is his teaching, he is his way. And if you want to come to know the Father like he knew the Father, then you got to get to know him, and then you'll understand and learn his relationship with the Father, and you'll grow into that relationship with the Father. And that's what his desire was for. That's what he prayed for us. He prayed to God, our dad, that we would come to be like him, how he was one with the Father, one with God, and that the Father was in him and he was in the Father. He knew that we would become opened up to that possibility or to that reality, that we would become like him. But that was not possible until the fullness of his ministry happened, which means he had to do away with all the sacrificial laws. I can't remember if there's 70 something or 300 something, but there's a lot of individual laws built up around this sacrificial system, and man got carried away with it, kept adding and changing like we always do. So Jesus came to wrap that up, this sacrificial system that people was all over the world. People were sacrificing not only animals to gods to try and appease them, or to have clean their conscience, or to be able to feel okay, because obviously things just never change, you know. People use religion to scare people, to control people, So that what the Catholic Church did in the Middle Ages, going in, scaring people about hell and about purgatory and all these things, they've been doing that in other forms and manners for thousands of years. Now, to become spiritual, that means you have to come alive spiritually. Most people, they're walking around right now dead spiritually. They're here in the flesh. They have a body, which means they have a mind telling the body what to do, and the mind is wrapped up in something called a soul, or a personality, a personal individual experience of the all, of this living light that is all around us. Okay? So you have a soul, which is your individual I, okay, that the big I, the I am, is manifesting. He's manifesting everything. There's nothing created that is not created by this I am. Okay, now here you are, this little I, dot with a point. And what we were designed and created to be is a being that coexists simultaneously in this physical nature, physical realm, and also alive in a higher vibratory dimension, heavens, the heavens, or spirit, or another intangible, not solid, spiritual realm of light, basically like dreams. Okay? And the thing about it is, it's not really so much higher like this, like two different worlds. They're actually in the same place at the same time simultaneously, but they exist on different vibrational frequencies. So, most of humanity is walking around designed to be like this, but up here completely dead, absent, and down here living thinking that this is all that's real. This physical realm becomes the only thing now. So now the mind and soul and body is looking around and seeing, perceiving that this is what's real, and builds its whole reality around the physical, because does not even know anything about spiritual, is actually dead spiritually because of sins. What are sins? It's not just a religious thing. It means shortcomings, falling short, like an archer missing the target. So that is automatically going to be the result of everything we do if we start out with a lie based on thinking who we are, what this reality is, based on a false idea or concept. Like somebody tells you, it's only physical reality, whether spiritual reality don't exist or just never mentions it to you. That's the foundation you're building your reality upon. And then you're going to keep labeling things and saying what they are, but you're starting out in an ignorance, darkness, and Satan is the Lord of that ignorance and darkness, the personification of that ruling in you. Now, to be born again is to mean when Jesus tells you something, you listen to what he says, and through faith, not being able to see, but believe in what this guy is saying. There's something to it. You put your faith in his word. John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were created through the Word. So now here you have the Word, or the voice, or the divine thought of God manifested in a man speaking through the man. So it's just a channel for that same invisible, all-encompassing God to speak through and to you, and telling you, if you only believe, I will heal you. I will take your sins from you. I will create you over anew. You will be born again in the spirit, not just the physical. You get born again into the spirit by denying your physical and learning how to let go of that old man, that old concept of who you thought you were. Put it to death. Start over fresh. Right now, everything you've ever done in your life can be left and walked away from. Right now, everything you've ever held against anybody or they've held against you, you can choose to hand it over to Jesus, and he'll take it from you. It says he separate you and your sin as far as the east is from the west, and that's infinitely. Take your infirmities and iniquities and throw them into the sea of forgetfulness. I'm living on the Caribbean right behind my back door, so I know what that's a picture like. Take all that stuff and throw it out there, never to be seen again. Spirituality, everybody wants to know what's the truth. Before we can even begin, we got to lay a foundation. And the foundation is the truth is wrapped up in Jesus Christ, the man. He is the image of Christ. We study him, and all else will be revealed. 10 minutes Bible study. Bam. And